Welcome back to the Los Alamitos preview show. As mentioned earlier, a lot of exciting quarter horse racing and some major stakes activity this weekend with the Adequan California Derby Challenge as our feature here on Friday night, the John Deere California Juvenile Challenge here on Saturday, and the Golden State Derby on Sunday. Earlier this week, our Director of Marketing and Publicity, Orlando Gutierrez, caught up with the connections of some of the top contenders in all three of these races.
Well, a busy weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos Racecourse. Three major events starting on Friday night with the running of the Adequan California Derby Challenge. Then on Saturday, we have the running of the John Deere California Challenge. And on Sunday, the running of the Golden State Derby. And trainer Mike Casselman, you have some horses going in some of these big races. Let's start with the Grade 1 winner, Little Talks. Back second start of the season. How did you like her first out when she ran in the Adequan trials?
We were real happy with her out. You know, she got bumped away from there a little bit, and she dug in, and she ran a nice race, and we were real happy with that.
And you get 3 weeks between the trials and the final. That's got to help her as she eases into her 2016 campaign.
You bet. We were real happy that was the way that set up. You know, there were some derbies, other derbies we could have run in, and they were all kind of on top of each other, so we picked this one because of the 3 weeks, and then maybe we can get back into the Pacific Coast if everything goes right.
But she was busy before her making her season debut in the breeding shed. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
You know, they took her to the farm, and we did a little maintenance on her, and then they did flush an embryo out of her, maybe two. I know she was bred to separate interest, another horse I trained, and so I was pretty excited about that.
Now you also have she knows she's Ivory in this race and breaking from the outside post. Psychologically, how does that help this horse?
You know, we really like that for her. She's a little bit nervous and a little bit hard to get to look down the racetrack. She breaks a little bit with her head up, and it's a little tougher to ride than some horses, so we'll really like the 10-hole for her. She finishes well. You know, I think she can get away with them. We'll be competitive.
And on Sunday, you have Militarist going in the Golden State Derby, and a horse that kind of came back for the trials just a week off of another race. But now you've had a little bit of time. How do you see the horse coming along for the Derby final?
You know, he's doing real good. He's a tough gate horse too, and if he doesn't break all the time and he gets himself left, and he always makes up some ground, but he doesn't always have a spot to run. So if he gets a spot to run, we're excited about his chances.
Well, Saturday's main event is the John Deere Juvenile, some outstanding young runners. One of them coming off of a pretty solid third place finish in the trial, Brimming Corona. Also a kindergarten finalist earlier in her career. Pretty talented runner.
Yeah, she's been running good. She started working good when we started working her to 20, and she's been she qualified to kindergarten out to the challenge in a real tough field. You know that Cooper's horse was in there, but she's been running pretty good. You know.
And Red Coco Perry, bit of a surprising winner in his trial, but coming off of 2 victories. How do you see this horse developing?
He's coming around real good, you know. We were shocked when he broke his maiden because he wasn't showing anything at the beginning of the year. So he broke his maiden, won his trial, and maybe he'll win the final.
And that's what you want to see, a horse that just keeps getting better.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunday here at Los Alamitos is the Golden State Derby final, and some outstanding runners going, including 2 from the Barno, Yanet Rodriguez and E.G. High Desert Farms. Let's start with the fastest qualifier, Just Raven, just top of her game right now, 3 straight victories, 2 stakes wins, fastest time to the Golden State Derby. I mean, look at that smile on your face, just as I mentioned, Just Raven. Tell us about this just rising star.
God, we really had hopes for her last year, but we took her to Redoso first race. She broke her maiden, and then after that we took her to Redoso. She had a little, she didn't run that good. She had a little incident that she lost a rider. We brought her back, gave her some time off, and she was paid for these races, so we give her plenty of time off. And she came back and won her first race like by 2.5 lengths. And then we ran her in La Primera. She ran second, and then in the final she ran second. Then we nominated her for a little handicap. She came and won, and then another stake race, and she won. And now in the trials, she has 3 straight wins.
And also in that same race, you have the defending AQHA champion 2-year-old filly, Walk Through Crystal, an outstanding runner, and she seems ready to go. She's right here behind us, just having a fun time, it looks like. but just starting to come into her own. Start number 3 for 2016 for Walk Through Crystal, the final will be.
Yes, that'll be her third start this year. She ran a decent second, and in the trials she ran pretty good. She ran another second. You know, we asked the rider not to push them. We just had to beat 4 horses, so we asked them, if you're ahead, you know, if they're decent, don't push them. You know, we have 15 days in between the trials and the final.
Now, it must be fun just coming in the morning knowing that you're going to be working with Walk Through Crystal and Just Raven. What's it like?
You know, it's not just them. It's just being around the horses. It's each horse has a different attitude. I got plenty of horses that are running decent, and honestly, I'm blessed that I have a good team, a good owner, a good rider. It's nice working with the people that I have around.
Now, you pony a lot of your horses, you know, when they're going to the races on most night. Now, in this Derby, you have 2 horses. You can't pony 2 of them. How do you make that decision?
Sometimes when it's a final, I just stay off the pony. I get nervous, and I don't want these guys, you know, sometimes the vibration and stuff. But I just don't pony on final nights. I get nervous.
Can't pick a favorite on that night.
No, they're both good.
Well, it's going to be a great weekend here at Los Alamitos. Don't miss it. Back to the studio.
Well, thanks, Orlando, and the best of luck to everybody involved in the racing action here this weekend. The interesting race to me, though, is on Saturday, the John Deere California Juvenile Challenge. As Bannister easily posted the fastest qualifying time. I know it was a tough decision for Tony Guyman, who qualified both Bannister and One Proud Eagle, but he won the kindergarten on One Proud Eagle, won the Los Alamitos Maiden Stakes this year on My Favorite Check. He rides a lot for John Cooper. Really hard to take off of the kindergarten winner, One Proud Eagle, but on numbers, Bannister the one to beat.
Certainly the one to beat, clearly, because I just love the way this horse won that comebacker, or the horse coming in from Idaho, Speed to Spare, custom fast clocking. The way this horse finished up, I don't think this horse will bounce off that big win.
Yeah, that's the big question.
Yes.
A lot of times these horses coming in from the Intermountain region, when they drop down to this lower altitude, run lights out the first time and don't run quite as good the second time. While One Proud Eagle had been off close to 11 weeks before that trial win, so I think the number is going to be a lot closer here in the finals on Saturday night. But